Here we go. Hey, good evening. Shaggy SoCal with Tool for Forza, and it's it's a new season of TNT in a new car. This lovely 1975 BMW 3.0 CSL, I think is what it is. I'm horrible with car names, but new rules based on update 8 that Forza released a few days ago. So. A little bit slightly different structure. And to talk about the new rules, we're now running with the introduction of tire wear or increasing tire wear. We're actually going to run this season at 4.5 times on the tire wear. It's really will force us. We're going to be forced to make a stop regardless. There's no way to do a race on any single set of tires. But it does open strategy up as far as what compounds you run, how long do you run them for. To that end, from some of the testing, at least one way to say before I get into the track guide and kind of going through there, as far as what laps I have done and what I think is as far as tire strategy, again, 4.5 times tire wear, you have to stop, you have to run 2 different compounds. Doesn't matter which 2 different compounds you run. Again, if it happens to be a rain race where the game suggests wet tires, you can run wet tires. There's no rule that says you have to like run wets and then softs. And it's like, no, it's a wet race, wet tires. There it is. So all things being equal, if this race is run on the dry and you're trying to figure out tire strategy, my own testing, I'm looking at 2 different strategies, and it'll be easier to kind of talk about when we get into the race. But what I will say is you have what I would call a more managed strategy, which is if you really want to run the soft tires, you can, but you will have to run the hards. And for both sets of those tires, you're going to want to do a little bit of tire management because for the last lap or 2 on both of those stints, you are going to be managing understeer on the front end, especially the back half of the course here at Laguna. The alternate strategy, or the one that I think gives you a little bit more, you can be a little bit more aggressive on the tires, is to do medium and hard. And I think I haven't really raced the mediums here yet, so I'm going to test that out today. Reason being is, again, for a 32 lap race, soft tires, you'll get 10 to 11 laps, 11 laps if you manage, and then on the hard tires you'll be able to do 20 laps, but you're going to need to do like 21. And then depending on how aggressive you are, if you really baby the softs and give up some pace to preserve the tires and get maybe 22 or 23 laps, which I think is I couldn't even do that, then you can run the softs more aggressively and maybe do 9 laps on them at the end of the race. The mediums, I think, are, if the softs are in and around 10 laps and the hards around 20, the mediums should be around 15. So 32 lap race, 20, 15, 25 means I can probably lean on the tires a little bit more and be a little bit more aggressive. So this is all going to be kind of fun and interesting. So with that, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to get into what I normally do on the track guides. Is I need to run a couple laps. I'm going to run it on the mediums, and then I'll do a kind of the track walk for this shortened version of Laguna Seca and what things I think you need to watch out for with the BMW. And then I'm going to do another practice race, but I'm going to run. I've not done a race practice on the mediums here yet, so I kind of want to see what that's like. But it's enough talking. Let's go ahead and start driving. And nope, I don't need to select car. Let's go to start race. And one other thing is update 8 has also kind of borked with the sound, so I had to do some rebalancing in the game. I haven't really checked to see what it sounds like through Twitch, but I'll do that after this broadcast. That would help if I have it in the right gear. I'm still using the gear shift of this car, especially because Stu's tune is at 100% degree rotation, which means on the Logitech it's a full 900 degrees. So, all right, 4th gear, crest the hill, brake, probably turning in a little early there. You get a little bit of that runoff, but that The exit there will bite you for track limits if you're not careful. Breathe the throttle. I leave it in fourth gear up here. I'm going to brake right as I get to the bridge. Down to third. Turn in just past the final braking board if you can see it. Manage the oversteer on the way out, up the hill. Car's very stiffly sprung, so try and stay off the curbings as you crest the hill. And that was really bad, but short shift to third. And I will breathe the throttle there because manual with clutch can get the tires to spin up. Still in third gear, brake just as you get to the curves on the outside. Brake here at this first braking at the two braking board, down to second gear. That was a little bit late, but I'm going to take advantage of the exit and kind of straddle the curbing. I'm going to do one more lap here. I think the tires will be up to temp now. Brake. Ooh, that's a little wide. I'm still turning in early there. Almost do that flat on the mediums. I think on the softs you can get away with flat, but also, again, managing tire wear. You'll use up a little more tire doing that. I'm still trying to figure out if second or third is best through here. And push, 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 push. And braking right at the two board there. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this lap, and then we will... Okay, so let's do the kind of the slow track walk here for Laguna Seca. The shortened version, which is kind of a throwback to the original, one of the original layouts for Laguna. So what I'm looking for coming down for the braking is, again, we have the I'd say a good indicator of where you want to get on the brakes here for turn one is if you want to brake early, it's pretty much right where you start to blend off, from the main circuit to the shortened version. But what I'm looking for is, you'll see the three board. That's a good indicator as long as one of us hasn't taken it out. But I'm keying off of the white stripe right here in front. To me, I'm guessing that's a pit blend line or something. As I'm kind of crossing that, for me, that's where I'm hitting the brakes. What I'm not sure of, and again, we'll see how it plays out, depending on the tires, depending on traffic. I think you can do this in fourth gear, no problem. If the tires are starting to wear out a little bit, or you're in a bit of traffic, you may just brake a little bit and drop it to third to help get through the corner. I'm still notoriously early on the turn in. I don't think it's quite at the one board. I think the one is way too early. It's a little bit past it. But you do want to be a little bit later than you think. Actually, I just saw something. I don't know how easy that's going to be to see at speed. Back up a little bit. Was that a drainage square I saw, or was that a fig? Ooh, huh. That'll be easy to see in the daytime. I'll have to see if I can pick that up peripherally. But you can kind of see the drainage cover there. That might be, if that's easily spotted during the race at speed, that might be a good indicator of turn in. We'll find out. But regardless, go ahead and turn in. This curbing is not too bad at speed, and on your exit on the way out, again, I think where a lot of us are going to get caught, you can use a bit of the gravel here, and you can kind of straddle the line, but track limits can be a bit treacherous, so be careful. So if you can keep it neat and tidy out of one, that would be the preferable line, because even in traffic, or if you make a mistake and you get out, you can clout the wall and spin out. And I think we've known from past experience, this kind of short shoot here, up to old turn 5, or not old turn 5, current turn 5. If someone spins out in the middle of here, and especially if there's traffic, there's almost no room to maneuver. So out to the wall here, bring it back across. I usually, again, try to straighten it out. You can straddle that curving. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can straddle it if you have to, and without tripping track limits off. Still in fourth gear. For me, as I clear this wall here, is when I'm going to start, committing into turning in for turn five, or at least current turn five. Though this is, I guess, more technically turn three. I haven't looked this layout up to know what the turn numbers are. Um, Most tire compounds, even up to temp, it's probably just a little confidence lift off the throttle to get the car turned in. But once you get it into the banking here, you can really commit back the throttle at the apex, heading up the hill. I'm going to leave it in fourth going up the hill. And again, as I said, as I was doing the original laps, braking for me, depending on the tire, is going to be in and around the pedestrian bridge here. Most likely, I'll be braking. I think for my own sanity, I'll probably be braking a little early, regardless of the tire compound. Um, but it's probably just as I get to it, brake. I'm actually dropping it to third, and I'm looking for the one board here on the right side, and then turning in. This is one that I think I'm notoriously going to be late. It's going to take me a while to get into rhythm to get this one right to where I can carry good speed out. So this will be a challenge for me. You can get on the red and white curbing here. I would stay off the yellow sausage curb. Um, Careful of the wheel spin on the way out, because again, you're into the banking and I'm going to call it turn six because that's what it is on the full circuit. But again, as you come out of the banking, you're going to be cresting over the center of the road. The back end may start to step out a little bit on the rears. Heading up the hill, third gear. I'll be up to fourth at this point. Well, not at this point. I'll be up to fourth by the time I get to the top of the hill. Now, my habit in other cars has always been I'm going to straddle this curb, get the left sides on this curve, and I'll probably get the right sides on the curve at the top of the hill. For Stu setup with his Beamer, the curbing at the top of the hill, I have not had a good time on it. I've been, plus, I'm also trying to brake and downshift in one hand on the wheel, and I just find that the car does not like the curbing at the top here heading into the corkscrew. So what I'm going to try and do is, braking is probably about here or a little bit before. I'm going to be looking as much as I can. Since I'm not running the braking line, I'm going to be looking at kind of where do I see a lot of tire marks, because it usually means that's where people are starting to brake. So it's about halfway between where I get off the curbing there to where I see it at the top of the hill. Maybe on the softer compounds I can brake a little bit later, but ideally I want to get on the brakes and have the car on the right side, but not on the curbing, braking for the corkscrew. And the other thing I'm still trying to sort out is if I need to do it in third gear or second gear. I've been doing it in second gear out of habit because I think, again, for previous track guides, I talk about the second gear. I get a little bit of gearing help to get some weight in the front of the car, help it slow down, gives me a little more point on turn in. But the compromise then is if I'm in second gear coming out of the corkscrew is getting that upshift. So third gear through here, if you can get your braking consistent, might be better. You'll feel a little bit slow coming out, but you don't have to worry about trying to upshift out of the corkscrew. So the rhythm for this, for me, is if I do it right, which more often than not I won't, is I'm going to turn in, crest the curbing here. As I cross back over and dive into the corkscrew, I want to have, I actually want to start turning the wheel back the other direction. If you're still kind of here, turning left, by the time you can see the other half of the corkscrew, the car's probably going to get a little bit, out of sorts as you're trying to then all of a sudden having to crank back the other way. So ideally it's turn in, bank in, and then as you start to crest over the middle of the road, unwind the wheel and prepare to turn in for the second part of the corkscrew. When you get into rhythm and you do it right, it's glorious. But again, I don't do it right a lot of the time. So again, if you're in second gear, go ahead and straddle the curving here. That's fine. You're not going to get track penalty. Soon as I'm out, I tend to only go out about half track if I do it right. And for me, I'm going to short shift to third at this point. I'm not going to wind it out. What I find running the gear shift with manual with clutch, this upshift from second to third if I'm holding the throttle down, upsets the back tires. I spin the tires up a little bit. So for me on the short shift, I'll put it, as I pop it to third, I'm just going to come off and right back onto the throttle. That usually takes care of the wheel spin and kind of gets the car a little bit more comfortable for the rainy curve here, heading down the hill. This is where, when your tires get worn and you're over 50%, or you're trying to push past 60%, trying to get to your pit stop, this corner, the rainy curve here, and the next corner are the suckiest turns to try and get this car through, because they are medium speed corners. And so you're carrying a bit of momentum into them, where the front tire is going to let go, pretty quickly. Most of the other corners, like the corkscrew and like that, it's low enough speed where you're really not going to notice the push unless you're really aggressive on trying to get back the throttle. But rainy curve, and then let's see, 8, 9, 10. The next right-hander on worn tires are going to be problematic. So for me, third gear, I'll probably be 2/3 of the way over and balancing the car through on the throttle, and really don't need to brake, but just, lift off a little bit early, get the car here, start to roll back into the throttle. Again, be careful on your throttle as you kind of cross over the middle. You might spin the back tires up a little bit. Bring the car back across, still third gear. I'm braking right as I get to the two board here, or right at the beginning of this curbing. Have the car lined up. Third gear, brake as I try to get back into the gear to get moving. Brake, 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 brake. Release the brakes, turn in. Try to get it down to the curbing here, staying off the sausage curbing. Roll back into the throttle. On the way out, still third gear. Bring the car back over. I'm braking at the three board. Way back here. Brake, 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 brake. Again, some other cars I might start to cheat over and get on the curbing here. I think this car's sprung stiffly enough where it'll upset it, especially when you're going to try and turn in. So I'm probably going to keep it neat and tidy here. So hello, there we go. So release the brake about the one board, or where the curbing ends or turns all white. A little bit late of a turn in, get on the curbing, roll out. I will probably let the car roll out and cross over the curbing and straddle it. This won't get you track limits. And the green curbing, this green pavement on the right side, is pretty decent grip wise. So you can then just kind of straddle this all the way out. And as you get to the end, you can bring the car back over. So that's Laguna Seca short in the Beamer. For the most part, tire wise, again, as the tire wears, it's really, turn one will start to get problematic. You'll notice it there. The little kink at turn 5 heading up the hill, you'll notice it there, and then the curves on the backside. So let's stop talking about the track guide. I need to run a mock race so I can really understand what the medium tires are going to do here. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Let's go ahead and exit to event menu. And because Twitch is a pain in the butt, and I don't want a whole bunch of poppy staticky stuff late in the broadcast, I'm going to take a short little, I'm just going to pause the stream just for a second so I can reset the audio stream on this, and then we'll get into the mock race and let's see what we can do. So let me go ahead and, exit here. And I'm just going to pause. I'll be right back. And let me reset the mic. Actually, before I get into this, so Forza with update 8 has borked, at least for me, and I think for a few others, has borked car audio. I'm still not sure why. So let me just show you the audio settings I'm running right now to kind of rebalance things. Effectively, I put the voiceover and voice chat up at 75. Almost everything else, music, SFX, I put it down to 50%. Player engine, which is the problem, it's like the player engine's too soft relative to everything else, and I don't know why. I'm leaving that at 100. I still want to be able to hear the tires a bit, so I do have that up a little bit more, so it's a little bit more prominent. And actually, I'm going to load the impacts up a little bit more. And environmental, that's fine. But you can see the opponent car, put it down to 50. For me, that seems to balance things out enough. Now, again, then I have to turn just the general volume up in the headset, but that seems to sort things out. What I haven't done, again, I haven't looked at the Twitch settings to know what the balance is from the game audio to the mic volume. I'll sort that out later. And let's go ahead and save that. But let's get into the race. Again, I think for your own practicing, I think it's worth setting up a free play or a test drive and just getting out there to run laps. And what I would say is run laps on the soft tire and see how many laps you can get out of it. That'll kind of tell you what strategy you might want to run in the race. But for me, let's just go ahead and go to free play, and we'll do advanced setup. And here's what we do. BMW, get the CSL. Nope, we're going to do a circuit race, and race length, I'll take care of that in a second. With the tech, short, number of laps, 32 laps. Starting time of day, we'll go random. I think I'm still going to do what I've been doing. So time progression is rolling 24. Weather, we are going to say random. For sake of streaming, I'm not going to run rain. It doesn't help me to run rain. I need to learn what the different tire compounds are going to do. But again, in the race, I think this map's going to open up. If we get rain, we're racing in the rain. Dynamic tractor rubber on, starting at 50. I think that's what we normally do. Drivatars, we want all the drivatars. And cars, I am going to set this to BMW. And there we go. Here's where the fun begins. Again, I want to run sport rules for the event because I don't want car damage, but I do want fuel and tire. Fuel and tire wear or tire wear at 4.5 times. No disqualification. Standing start. Random. And finally, 1 mandatory pit stop. Even though, for us, we're going to have to. Let's go ahead and accept all. And let's see where we go. Okay, tell us about Laguna Seca. I said that a little soon.
After plummeting out of the corkscrew, keep your speed up or potentially lose track position to your competition.
Very generic. But it's good advice. All right, so I'm going to go in, fuel and tire. Again, 32 lap race. So here's the other part of it. The tire wear is really going to play into things. So normally usually I just set whatever max fuel is I have for the race. But now with the tire wear, this is the other part I haven't quite sorted out yet. Is it worth running less fuel or just the fuel I need for the stint to take a little more weight out of the car and maybe preserve the tires a little more? I don't know. The tire wear may still be high enough where it's negligible, but I don't know. There's only one way to find out. So let's say I'm running mediums. So that should get me to. I'm gonna set for 16 laps of fuel, but I'm gonna try and do 15 on this set. Again, if you're thinking, if maybe the tires I can run mediums, no, you have to run 2 different compounds. So if I start on the mediums, I have to either go to soft or hard. In this case, if you're going to run mediums, you're going to have to go to the hard compound. But you're able to push a little bit more on your tires than you could say on the soft hard strategy. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how good I am with this. The other thing I want to point out before I get into the race, if you have not done this yet, is go into your settings and let's see where this thing is. Additional assists. No. Accessibility, no. Gameplay and hub. Okay, lap position, pit stop, yes. Speedometer, map, damaged fuel tire. If you do not have this turned on, turn it on. This will give you your little car at the bottom right. It'll help monitor your fuel. But more importantly, you get a view of your tires you get a quick reference without having to go in and pull up your telemetry to see what's going on. Because they will change color, they will wear, so you'll have some idea. But I would turn that on. And let's go ahead and close because I already have it on. Let's go ahead and start race. Now, since we are doing bucket delays, I'm not doing that here. The AI is quick enough. I'm just going to drop to the back. Right. I'm going to pull over here a little bit. Okay, and then I want to take the second. I would say in warm-up, take the second to pull that up so you can just keep an eye on it. And start passing some people. Excuse me, pardon me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, pardon me. I'd say the AI are a little bit better. I still see some pathing issues. I still see them. I've had cases where they've been ruthlessly aggressive in shoving me out of the way when I make a mistake. But they're getting better. I also find that when I do the same make car where everybody's in the same car, they also tend to be a little better. That's a nice livery. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to try and get to lap 15. And I think the intent is kind of like Forza Motorsport 7. We know that, you'll start to feel wear at 25%. And you'll feel a lot more. The car will start to steer more at 50. But as the tires wear, ooh, that's late. As the tire wears, the drop-off gets greater. 50%, you're definitely going to notice. 60% is where things start to get sketchy. As Drift Church tries to take out, who was that? You and Arnova. So really what I'm trying to do is I want to drive within the limits of the tire. So I'm trying to keep from doing excessive steering like that. You can hear the tires squealing. Didn't really heat them up because that's just going to increase the wear that you have to deal with. So, then managing the pace, you might take things a little slower. I'm in 5th gear through here. I might be rethinking this. Oh, that's still too low. No, 4th. Excuse me, bumpy. Even on the mediums, you can see that for a lot of the turns, like the sharper turns, not really going. Again, 900-degree steering. If I get a penalty for that, okay. He wasn't alongside. He hit me at the apex. Even on more tires, turn 1 isn't horrible as long as you get the braking done right. And don't do that. So so you know I can't talk and drive at the same time. Turn in early. I got to turn in a little bit later. The one board may be too late for that turn, but it always takes me a while to sort out. It always takes me a while to sort that out. That's the other thing I'm still trying to figure out coming up cresting the hill is getting on the brakes and trying to downshift. It just pitches the car sideways. So that's a me issue. So what I'll do is, as I get on the front straight, as I'm getting to start finish, I'll check the mediums at the end of lap 5. If third of the way through the stint, they should be somewhere around, well, let's see, what's that third? No, I'm going to go 15%, 15, 30, 45, no, maybe a little bit more, 20%. That's better. So 20% would be great, because that means then I can do 15 laps and they're only at 60 by the time I would pit. Huh. I wonder, maybe not shifting to fourth is the best way to do that. But if I can get to the end of lap 5 here, and the car's only at 20% wear, then I've got a good shot at being able to do 15 laps on the mediums without compromising pace at the end. But we'll see. So, oh, that was the end of lap 5. Huh. Yep. Yeah, we're right on the window. 2% on the outside. So yeah, we're going to be a little over 60 by the end of lap 15. But I think I'm okay with that. It's a little bit late. Yeah, I don't know what it is for me cresting the hill like that. So I'm still trying to sort things out. I keep saying it's a little bit early. It feels a little bit early in there. Even there, just out of the throttle, just ever so slightly. You don't have to come all the way out of it. Just enough to help to get the car to turn in. So the other thing I was learning about the tire wear indicators there down at the bottom right by the speedometer is they're more, they're indicative of tire life. So think of it as this way: when they're fully white, to go to fully like empty or used is actually not at 100%. It's actually at that 80% mark, I think, is where you completely use the tires up. So when they go yellow at 50, it actually will be a little bit, it'll look a little bit less than half full, which makes sense for that at 50. Well, you'll see. When you see it go yellow, like you would think right now that the fronts are at 50%. Based on how much you know, how much white is there, but we are only at 35. So think of it this way: halfway is 35%. Fully empty is about 70. And you'll get color warnings as you get up to the, get a yellow at 50%, and then I think it goes to orange at 70. Maybe part of my problem is I'm starting to think about like the shifting setting up for the corkscrew. Excuse me, is I might be downshifting and kind of locking the rears as I'm cresting the hill. So the question is it better to, it's either I'm going to pop it into third early before I crest the hill and jump the rev limiter, or sorry. It's my corner. You're passing into one. If you're on the outside going into one, back off. Not because the guy that's passing the inside is going to shove you into the wall, but it just, again, minimize risk. Still, we're starting to push. I can hear the back tires squiddling a little bit more, getting onto power. Okay, that's about the best I've taken that. Oh yeah, I have to start lifting there now. What? And again, I take a wider entry into the rainy curve than the AI does. Lap 11. So this is where I begin to, this would be one of the things I'd love to see Forza add. Now they've got tire wear, I'd love if they would put, what? Hello. I'd love, like I know what compound I'm on. I'd love to be able to know what compound other people are on. At least, at this point I'm guessing these guys in front of me are on softs. And as such, they're starting to struggle with grip. As I'm also starting to struggle to get grip. But if they're on softs, they're probably going to pit. I'd imagine they would probably pit at the end of this lap. They still have a little bit more grip than me, though. Oh, they're staying out. Oh, 12. Read a pit. The other thing, the medium and hard strategy, since you have a little bit of buffer on tire life, is, and actually, where are we on tire life? Yeah, you do have a little bit, because the life of the tires kind of overlaps the race distance by 3 laps. You know, your pit window, you've got a little advantage on choosing when to pit. So again, if I can do 15 laps here, I found I was getting into a lot of traffic, knowing that I could do, you know, 20 laps on the hards, maybe as many as 22. You know, I've got a wide pit window to switch over, but you know, once I switch, I'm committed. Because Laguna's pit lane is long enough where I don't think you could do a 3. At least our belief is you can't do a 3 stopper and run two stints on the soft. That you're not going to make up the time. Okay, I just got the moderate, so that means one of the tires is over 60%. Yep. So when I see that, this turn is not going to be fun. This turn will also not be that fun. I don't have as much of a problem in the final turn as long as I get the braking done. Yeah, we got to box this lap because 15 laps on the mediums. Yeah, turn 1. It's not too bad. We'll try and wind it up in 3rd here. See the car's pushing into the corkscrew a little bit. This is the one I got to be careful of. Yeah, oh, come on. Look how far I'm having to turn the wheel to get the car to turn. Okay, so 15. Okay, let's get off the mediums. We're going to have to go to hards. Yeah, we'll do recommended. That's 23. Yeah, we'll do recommended. That's fine. Hopefully I don't get screwed on the fuel. Please put fuel in the car. Yep. Okay, good. I got fuel. Pegs it, you know, because, you know, it doesn't quite spit us out. You know, it tries to jump the car across. 2nd gear. What I would probably do is I would probably cross over here and then just keep it to the inside, brake right at the green. And then hopefully, you know, you don't shove somebody off on the outside. Okay, hard tires. Again, they will take, you know, before we'd always said the hard tires would take, you know, 2 laps to get up to temperature. And I don't know, it's a question of with the increased wear, is that still the case, or does the increased wear get them up to temperature sooner? I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to the temps themselves. It's just, you know, how does the car feel? I know I have way more fuel than I need. But that's okay. Push a little bit here. Oh, that was... Oh, that's why you stay off the sausage curbs. Brake. Leapfrogging on the pit cycle. I don't know why I checked brake there, didn't really need to. You can use a bit of that outside curbing. Run. Again, I think on the hard tires, dropping it to second will help get the car into the corkscrew, but we'll see. Again, gotta love the track rubbering, or just the fact that, you know, I'm driving with a little more confidence that I can push these tires a bit. Yeah, I'm losing it all in the last turn, but I had run in front of me. But for the most part, that whole lap, I was up on the time I did on the softs. I left you room, Ron. You can kiss that curb. I just get on it, cross over it. Okay, because I can't do math in my head. So I did 15. That means there's 17 laps I got to do on these tires. So the halfway point is roughly 9 laps in the stint. So 15 plus 9, 24. Okay, so I'm going to check. We'll do tire check at the end of lap 24 if I remember. And hopefully we're not past 35%. Yeah, just understeering a little bit there. I'm, I'm 3 for 3 in forcing drivatars off in turn one. Yes, that's a hat trick. Whoa! So we'll do a tire check. Oh yeah, we are definitely starting to lose the front end.
Total time penalty is about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I think with as slow as Raymar's going there, I think his tires are shot. Definitely, we are pushing a bit. The low speed stuff's not too bad. I think the risk there is just getting out of the corner, but okay, 30.9, so no, we're good. The pace I'm running, how I'm running, I think is going to be good. I needed to use a little bit of tire to try and defend. You know, I think I could get away with it for maybe a lap, maybe two. Yeah, I think I'm braking a little bit. I might be braking a little bit too late. Uh, dark. What I'm not sure of, and we were discussing this a little bit on the shakedown, is, we know from previous races that at night, the tires do lose a little bit of grip on the colder track surface. And the question is then, because it's colder and the tires are sliding a bit more, are we wearing them quicker? Or is it, all about because they wear quicker, or because it's colder, there's less heat and less wear? I tend to look at it and say, if you're scrubbing the tire, you're losing, you're wearing it out. So I think the colder temperatures are going to slow us down, but if you try to push through it, you're going to wear your tire faster. That's my opinion, but time will tell. Time will tell how the game treats these things, or treats the tires. It's a learning experience. Whoop, that's a little early. Hey, Bruce, how are your tires doing? Come on, turn. Still not at 50% yet, but that's going to change here. I think in the next, I think I'll hit 50% now on the right front. Oh, very close to it. Getting very brave with my braking there. Definitely on better tires.
3 to go.
10-4. At least I straddled the curb. Had a little bit of steering there when I got to third, and that's why the back end started to step out. Oh, Bruce has to pit. Those soft tires didn't work out like you planned, did they? It'd be nice to know, again, talking earlier, it'd be nice to know, or have an indicator to know what tires players are on during the race. It's part of like the little thing that pops over their car, or even in the display there on the upper left, because then you would have an idea of, I've got, Brad's coming up behind me, I'm on hards, he's on mediums. Okay, good to know, because then I know you know, he'll have a tire grip advantage for a certain amount of laps, and maybe there's a crossover point. Which is the other thing too is, you know, with the softer compound, they're going to go off earlier as they as I've heard the term used in other series, you know, especially when you're talking about overlapping compounds and tire wear. It's, you know, comers and goers. You know, someone may get away from
Last
you early
lap.
in the stint, 10-4. But if they wear their tires out, that's a little too far to the inside. You know, as they wear their tires out, and I think, you know, from Royce back there, it looks like whatever tire he's on may have given up the ghost, though I'm not making my life any easier. I just hit my marks, bring it home. You know, being on the hard tire compound, it's like, you know, late in a run, maybe even though they're giving up a little bit, I've got a little bit more life than someone that's trying to make a pair of softs last. One more turn to go. Go a little bit defensive here. And that is Laguna Seca short. Whew. So 104, 35, 58. So no, that's right in the ballpark for our race. And again, we're going to have bucket delays. So no, that's 32 laps is a good distance. And I finished second because I had gotten a penalty earlier. I just noticed that now. Oh well. So that's the first you know, track guide and with the new set of rules. Again, my gut feeling is the safer tire strategy is to run medium hard, and it gives you a little bit better pit window. You got a little bit more laps to play with because, you know, there's enough overlap in the tire life relative to the length of the race. So you've got a good, you know, what, 32 to 30, you know, 30, let's see if I can do 15 and 20, 35. Yeah, it's like a 2-lap overlap. But then again, depending on how you drive, that could be as many as a 4-lap pit window that you can play with. If you want to be a little more aggressive but then have to manage your tires a little bit more, you could do a soft and hard compound there. Though if you do that, you have to make, you know, split it 32 lap race. Either you make the hards last 22 laps, which will be a struggle for those last 2 laps, and then you've got 10 on the softs that'll start to go off after lap 9, or you even it out and say, I'll do 11 and 21, and yeah, that'd be 32. But you're really not going to be able to push on either because you are going to be maxing out the life to make it on that strategy. So conservative, you know, hard tire, medium tire. Management, risky, soft tire, hard tire. The race is too long and the deg is too high, I think, to do a soft medium. If you really want to be risky and aggressive, you could do a 2-stopper and play around with soft medium, but you're going to be driving hellaciously, you know, aggressive on the softs to try and make up the extra pit lane time. I don't think the circuit, if it was the full circuit in 32 laps, then maybe that 2-stop strategy might be more beneficial. But on this shortened version, you know, we're talking barely a minute, you know, a little over a minute on the laps. I think it's still a 1-stopper. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and call it a night. Hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you on track next week. Happy racing. Oh, wait, before I do, I got to see myself on the podium. I always forget. I got to do, no podium celebration. Or did I miss it? I must have missed it. Stupid updates. All right, well, anyhow, hope you guys are having a good evening. Happy racing.
The original Nürburgring hosted its first car